This episode is brought to you by Oops. Before you are ever in an accident, Oops is the app you want on your phone.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, Kat.
And Paul.
And we're back for another
We are
episode.
back for another week, another episode, another
Yep.
week. And funny enough, this is season 4, episode number 1.
Woo,
See,
we are now
in season 4. Now,
Woohoo.
before I get started,
Yeah.
Texas, I'm speaking to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry to say, Texas, that you've been overtaken as the number 1 place in the United States that is listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
Another place has gone, hold my beer. It is now time for us to throw a hat in the ring.
Okay.
Wisconsin is number 1.
Okay.
Yep. Now I will say the name of the place that in Wisconsin that is the largest amount of listening to us, but I'm going to screw it up royally. So I'm going to just
Yeah, probably.
so I'm going to just spell it, and then you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Manitowoc.
Manitowoc.
Manitowoc. That's
Yeah.
the number 1 place in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Second one is Mayville, and the third one is Brookfield. So
Okay.
sorry
Now,
to say, Texas, that you've been overtaken.
well, the other sad news is that the official Big Bang Theory podcast overtook us.
Yes, they did.
So, fam, what should we do about it?
Yeah, look, okay, this is the whole thing. A lot of people would sit there and say, well, that's obvious because they are the official Big Bang podcast. That is true. I think one of the biggest things
Yeah, but we're
is
more
that
fun.
I know we're more fun. We're way more fun. But I think the fact that they have all the stars and all the celebrities on their show,
Mhm.
that's the reason why they're getting so many people. Like they are number 1.
I wonder if they pay them.
Oh, I would say that most of the celebrities that go on there would actually have some sort of deal with getting paid.
Yeah.
Um,
Whereas
you
we
know,
just do it for the love.
and the whole thing is, and you know, I'm just going to touch on this just briefly. You know, this whole thing with Stuart fails to save the universe. I was seeing something this morning on Instagram. I think it was on Instagram that Melissa Rauch has now guest starred in the show.
Yeah,
She's now
I saw it.
reprising Bernadette.
I saw a clip of Penny, and she was mean.
Yeah, so we've had Penny, which is the leader of the resistance with Zach. We've now got Bernadette, who is actually a demon in she was actually a witch, but she morphs into a demon who becomes basically as tall as like the Empire State Building and walks around and kills people.
Spoilers?
I know.
No,
So,
honey, spoilers. I didn't know any of this.
oh, well, the thing is that the way it's going is that there seems to be so many
He's totally missing what I'm saying
I
here.
am not totally missing what you're saying, but
Okay, then you
it just seems to me that there's a lot of celebrities that are doing the Big Bang Theory because I don't think this show is as strong without them,
Nope.
which is terrible because I'm sure
Which
the
is
premise is
sad.
yeah, I'm sure it's a great idea, but in all honesty, when you look
I
at
mean, Sliders didn't have to do that.
no,
And we all know that the show is basically based on Sliders.
yeah, but the way it is like, you know, a lot of shows don't have to start pulling out the celebrities until they start to get into trouble.
Yeah,
It
until like the third
seems,
season.
well, yeah, it seems right now as that Stuart fails to save the universe, they are pulling out all the big guns early because
Well,
I
they're
don't know
trying to
whether,
launch strong, I think.
yeah, but I don't know whether they think that this is actually going to tank. It's not going to, I mean, it will not
Yeah.
last 12 seasons like The Big Bang Theory.
No, it won't.
It's not that strong. Um, So I don't know. I'm really not sure what's going on with that one. I mean, even Dane actually said to me, "Do you get HBO?" And I said, "Oh no, we don't." Yes, apparently, yeah, Dane, we do. It's on
No, Hulu, not HBO, honey.
Hulu's. Was it? No, do we get HBO? No, because that's on HBO, isn't it?
Yeah, that's HBO Max, which you can pay for.
Right,
It's an
right. So we
additional streamer.
right, yeah, so we don't get that one. So I'm not sure exactly when we're going to get a chance to see that, but I don't know. I just, yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence. I've always maintained that if they had have gone down the path of making this like a 2 hour movie
Hmm.
and throwing all the old Big Bang cast in there,
Yeah.
then that would actually be like a really nice little thing. We already know that Jim Parsons has said no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was probably some attraction for people wanting to have fun playing their character with a completely different take on it.
Hmm.
You
Look
know,
like
like,
Kunal Nayar,
yeah,
you know, the big bushy beard and
yeah,
all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there is certainly a an excitement of going to revise or relive a character. But I don't know. I don't see it really going to be taking off to the point that we're going to be sitting here years from after it's finishing go, oh my God, we're on the fourth time of watching Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. I think it's going to be pretty much like we've seen it, we've done it, we've lived it, and we'll
yeah,
just go back to the Big Bang Theory. Because
yeah.
as you've said before, and I thoroughly agree with you, watching the Big Bang Theory, and I'm sure this is the same feeling as all our family in the PMS group, is that when we go to watch The Big Bang Theory, it's like revisiting our friends.
Yeah.
It's that enjoyable.
Yeah, it's
You
hanging out
can
with our
watch,
friends.
yeah.
Speaking of hanging out with our friends, we need to
Mm.
send out massive congratulations to Rachel for bringing
Yes,
the newest member of the PMS family into the world.
yes, we've got a brand new member of the PMS family.
She posted pics in the group, so make
Yep,
sure you go over there and check it out and send your love.
give it a love heart.
Yeah, so congratulations to Rachel. He is gorgeous. I just
Yeah,
wish that you lived closer so I could babysit.
there's a good chance, Rachel, that if you did live close enough to us, you'd never get the baby back.
That's not true.
She would babysit and go, well, you can leave him here for a weekend. And then a weekend would be like, you can leave him here for a week. And then the week would be like, well, you can leave him here a month. And then it would just, so yes, she would be very happy to be a surrogate nana
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
would. I
So,
definitely would.
and even Oliver would be very happy to have the little baby here to guard him as well.
Yep.
So,
Yes, you would.
so yes,
Welcome to the PMS
welcome to the
fam,
world.
Quinn.
Yep, welcome to the world. It's
Yep.
good to have another member of the PMS family.
Yep.
Now, season 4, episode number
For
1,
episode 1, the
the
robotic
robotic manipulation.
manipulation.
What do we think about this episode?
It has its amusing moments.
It has its moments for sure.
I love seeing Renee Watson again.
Yeah, yes. Now, who is she?
She's the nurse.
That's right. She was on the very first episode. She was
Yeah,
in the
I think
sperm bank.
she appears like 4 or 5 times, but anytime there's a medical thing, Renee Watson is the one there.
Yeah. So it is really nice that we keep getting her as we're going along.
Yeah.
There are certainly some aspects of this episode that are funny,
Hmm.
as we all know with the robotic arm. Uh,
And Howard's look when he's like,
I know.
just like a real hand.
Yeah. I always like where's the rest of the robot? I only built the hand because
Because
that's all
that's
you
all you
need, right?
needed. Yep.
But we are going to get to that one. So
Yeah.
the episode opens up where Howard is demonstrating a robotic arm. Now, the robotic arm that he had built is going to help on the International Space
Yeah.
Station. Now,
And it makes sense because it's an external deploy to make repairs and
yeah.
things. So that actually makes sense.
Now, apparently, he just recently
Borrowed
borrowed
it.
from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And when the episode first opens up, we're watching Howard basically unload or unpack
Unpack
their
dinner.
Chinese dinner,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. And of course, then Penny comes in and she's like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's a robotic
Yeah.
arm, did this and that." And he says to her,
Ask
"You
for the soy sauce.
ask to pass you the soy sauce." And she goes, "Really? Does that come up a lot of the International Space Station?" And he goes, "Well,
Just do it.
for yeah, just say
Well,
the
mainly for Jewish and what was
yeah." There
the
was
other one?
another
Yeah.
Chinese astronauts.
Yeah,
I think it
Chinese and
was.
Jewish astronauts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Man, now I
go,
want Chinese food.
well, okay, well, we
I'm
can get.
hungry. We're
No,
recording
she
this
is.
before lunch,
We are.
and I
Yes.
didn't have my snack.
No, you didn't. Either I can't be there at all times to monitor your intake of foodage.
Who asked you to?
I should have been.
Who asked you to?
You know, there is maybe 2 or 3 people that will be sitting there going, yes, he's a nice
I
person
have
for
a
being.
mother, thanks.
Excuse me?
I have a mother, thanks.
You have a mother.
Yeah, she may have passed on, but I
Uh-huh.
still have a mother. I don't need another mother.
Okay, but how are you monitoring your food intake when you don't remember it? I should be doing it.
None of your business.
Oh, this is the episode when you can hear that the divorce plans are starting to go into effect,
Oh,
Beverly.
really? You divorced me over that, huh? After all I do for you and the fact that you get to have the leftover chicken for dinner tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't need to give me the leftover dinner.
Well, and I'm having sweet potato hash browns.
Oh, well, bully for you. So we are sitting
I
there
make
and
chicken so tender you can cut it with a
with a spoon.
spoon.
I know.
And you're gonna
That
bitch
was
at me about that?
I'm not bitching about the spoon or the chicken. It's all good.
Mhm.
No, it would be really nice for some rice too.
Okay, I can make you
Might have
some
some
rice.
rice,
I
yes.
might do that.
So I like it how it says to her about, pass the soy sauce, and she goes, okay, please pass the soy sauce, and then he starts typing away, and now we found out from Raj that the whole dinner that was unpacked only took 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So as he is feverishly typing away, Linda sits there and goes, "Oh, how was work?" And she goes, "Oh, well, not bad. A little hungry." And of course, Linda goes, "Yeah, we all are."
Oh. And
And just
Sheldon's
this,
and Sheldon's pops up with just oh yeah, so the thing puts the soy sauce in her hand.
yeah,
And she's like, "Oh,
eventually,
cool." And Sheldon's like, "Yes, eventually, automations like this will make people, unskilled workers like you,
obsolete.
obsolete."
And I love it as she comes back with a great line. They're gonna invent a robot that spits on your hamburger.
And the look Sheldon gives her.
Well, at least I mean, we know from the scenario that we saw once, which was when she brings him the hamburger after she basically had said to him, "You're banished from the Cheesecake Factory." When he eventually gets it, she goes, you know, "Eat it. I dare you."
There you.
Yeah, so it's like, there is the possibility of all this
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, Penny sits down and they're having dinner, and
Sheldon
Sheldon
gets a
gets a
text.
text message, and the text message is from
Amy,
Amy, and
Amy
Amy
Farrah
is
Fowler,
apparently at the laundromat
dry
and
cleaner,
dry cleaner, sorry. And so she gives a little bit of a spiel,
pun.
a pun, and he comes back with a real answer. He goes, "Love it how Penny goes, oh, who's Amy?" And I love it how Leonard goes, "Oh, it's Sheldon's girlfriend," and she's like, "What? Sheldon's got a girlfriend?" She goes, and of course this is where even Howard pops up and goes, "Yes," or as we call Sheldon and Amy, or as we call them, Shamy.
Shamey.
And,
I'm
and
digging the shamey.
Shamey,
And
and
of course, Sheldon keeps pitching a fit that she's a
she's not my
girl, but
girlfriend.
she's not my girlfriend.
Yes. Um,
And Penny keeps shushing him, and she's like, "How long has this been going on?" And Leonard's like, "4 months." And she's like, "You're trying to tell me that for the last 4 months, every time I ask you what's new, it never occurred to you to say Sheldon's got a
got a
girlfriend?
girlfriend? And he
She's
goes,
not my
"My
girlfriend.
girlfriend. She is a girl, but not
Who's my
and a
friend?"
friend, but not a girlfriend."
Yeah.
And I love it how as this whole thing is going along, and the worst time to say it is when Penny is taking a drink of water. And I'm going to let you say this one
No, go for it.
because basically Sheldon announces his plans to conceive a child with Amy using in vitro fertilization because of their superior genetic, basically.
They could basically create the first of a species of benign overlords
Yeah. But I love it how when
with
he
their
says,
combined intellect.
but I love it when he says that Penny absolutely spits her water out. And I love it how then Howard then taps a couple of keys, and the robotic hand passes her some
The
napkins,
napkins.
and she's like,
Well,
"Thank you."
and that's the thing. When it was sitting there with the napkins, she's like, "Does NASA know that you're using this thing for a napkin holder?" And he's like, "Oh, heck no. They think it's in a secure storage facility
In
somewhere."
JPL,
And
yeah,
they're like, "So you stole it?" He's like, "No, I just borrowed it. The trick is to walk out of there carrying it
like
like
you
you
own
own
it.
it."
And even where, and so after it gets to the point where, Sheldon has exclaimed the fact that he and, basically Amy want to reproduce in this. I love it how Sheldon then looks at Penny and goes, "You've got a very corn husk sort of
You've
like
got broad hips and a certain corn husk fed
vigor."
flavor.
Yeah.
Is your womb for rent?
And I like it how it's, Penny comes back with a really great idea. Maybe Penny suggests that maybe Sheldon should go out on a date with Amy to basically get to know the future mother of his child. And he
Yeah,
goes, "Well, I can't do that." And she goes, "Well, why not?" And he goes, "Because Amy is my friend, not
not
my
my
girlfriend."
girlfriend.
So this whole thing is just continuing, I should say. So the next scene we see after the credits is Sheldon knocking on Penny's door. Now, on the third knock, obviously, Penny opens it. She goes, "You do realize that I stand there waiting for you to finish the third knock before I open the door?" And he goes, "Yes, because your feet actually cast a shadow of you standing there underneath the door." And he goes, "I've decided to go on a date with Amy." And she goes, "Oh, good." And he goes, um, "Now, I think he says that you need to drive me."
Oh, she's like,
And she goes, "Oh, good
yeah, I
luck."
took your advice. I decided it was
Yeah.
good, and invited Amy for a date. She's like, great. And she starts to walk away,
And
and
he goes,
Sheldon's
"What?"
like, but wait a minute, you have to drive me. And she's like, why? And he's like, because I don't drive. And she's like, well, didn't it occur to you? Well, when is it? And he's like, now.
Now,
And hurry up, we're going to be late. And
yeah.
she's like, well, didn't it occur to you that I might have other plans? He's like, oh, no. Do you have other plans? And she's like,
Well, not per
no,
se.
not per
But I
se.
love it
And he's
how
like,
as he says to as Penny goes, "Well, why don't you just get Leonard?" And he goes, "Well, from as Leonard said, I'm paraphrasing it, it was Penny's cockamamie idea." And she goes, "Really?" He
no,
used the word cockamamie?
no, at first he said, and I quote, it was her cockamamie idea. She can
That's right.
drive you.
Yeah.
And she's like, really, cockamamie? And he's like, well, I'm being raised in a Christian household. I'm not comfortable with the
Comfortable.
language that he used. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not quite that comfortable with cockamamie either.
So he goes, "Okay, so we're gonna be late." And she goes, "Okay, I'll let me get my cockamamie keys."
Yep.
So yeah. So now from there we go to Howard's bedroom
Yes, yes, yes.
because Howard is basically continuing experimenting with a robot arm. Now, right now, the robot is giving him a wonderful
Okay,
shoulder
well
massage.
here's the thing. All we can, it starts at the like above his bed, so we
Hmm.
don't see him because he's sitting at his desk.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all we can hear is that, oh yes, right there. And you're like, what the hell is he
What the
doing?
hell is Howard
And
doing?
so of course the camera finally pans onto him and it's giving him a neck massage or a
Which is
shoulder
wonderful.
massage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great idea.
And his mother's like, come and have dinner. And he's like, I'm busy, I'll eat later.
Yeah,
And he's like, oh yeah, this is beautiful. Just like a real hand. Ding. And you see
yeah.
the idea
You
occur
see the light bulb just go on above his
to
head.
do what he thought that he was doing.
Uh-huh. Now, all of us, because when he does have that ding moment, he looks at the hand and he goes, "Hmm."
Hmm.
Now, we all know what he was thinking. You have
Hmm.
to be pretty naive to not know what he's
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean, after the last three seasons, you pretty much know what he's going to be thinking.
Yeah. So the next scene after that is we've seen that Penny has picked up Amy and they're driving along in the car. Of course, as we see, Amy says, Amy's sitting in the back seat, Sheldon is sitting in the passenger side, and this is where Amy goes, "Your check engine light is on." And I love it how Sheldon goes, I have indicated that many a
I have
time.
tilted that windmill too many times.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I love it how Penny also said, now, this is why it starts to it this is why I think we all understand why they had to really bring um Amy back a little bit or
Yeah.
give her some sort of personality
Yeah.
because as they're driving along, Penny says, "Oh, what's that scent that you're wearing?" And she goes, "It's dandruff shampoo. I've got dry scalp."
Yep.
And Penny goes, "Well, your hair looks lovely." And she go and Amy then says, "Thank you. Are you a homosexual?"
Bisexual.
And she goes, "No, I'm just giving you a compliment." She goes, "Oh,
Mm.
it
I would
would
have been
probably
more
be
flattered if you
if
were
you were a
homosexual.
homosexual." Now, okay, we know the way that Amy started, right? And I also love the fact that they actually made her less robotic because when we first saw her in the cafe when Raj and Howard had set Sheldon up, she
Yep.
was very, "I am Amy, you are Sheldon Cooper," and it was very much it was
Yeah.
just monotone.
Yeah, if they had kept her like that, she wouldn't have been very
No,
likable.
she wouldn't have. Um,
Now, before we get
yeah.
Amy in the car, though,
Mm.
Penny asks if this is Sheldon's first date. And
Oh,
he's
that's right.
and
Yes.
he says, "Well, does going to a Christian hoedown with my sister count?"
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, then this is my first date."
Hmm.
Teens for Jesus, 4th of July
That's the
hoedown.
one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And however, in the Psychic Vortex episode, when Raj asks him to meet Abby and Martha for the second time, Sheldon says, Hulk agreed a second date with Puny Human. So technically,
Yes.
that was a date.
Yeah. But as I think we said before we started the podcast, this is more about Sheldon now rather than Sheldon being someone's wingman.
Right, but even so, it was still a date. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like when I was in high school and there was a bunch of us going to something, and my friend Blake didn't have anybody to kind of be partnered with, so I agreed to go with Blake
Hmm.
in this group context. It was technically a date, even though we never dated.
It was more of a social outing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in with regards to Raj and Martha and the other girl and whatever it is, I think Sheldon was in um a social setting.
Yeah, but it was still considered a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a
Now,
real date is him and Amy. So
before we get into it,
yeah.
according to Mayim Bialik, Amy
Mm.
was not yet conceived as a scientist in the previous episode, The Lunar Excitation, when we first met her. In the gap between seasons 3 and 4, Bill Prady, the producer,
Yeah.
decided that Amy should be a neurobiologist since Mayim Bialik has a PhD in neuroscience and could thus portray the character more accurately as the show's neuroscience consultant.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because if you've got someone that is that way inclined that's already got a PhD, it's like there was something I was watching looking on Instagram. There was a movie that they were doing and they actually hired actual physicists
Yeah.
and mathematical equationist people to actually make sure that everything was completely accurate to the
Yep.
way they were doing it.
Well, and it's
So
yeah, well, it's like MASH, even MASH used to have actual surgeons
that's right.
advise
Yes.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is always good to have that.
Well, one of my favorite little Easter eggs is,
Mm,
forgive me, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but they had a physics consultant on The Big Bang Theory.
yes.
And he would be the one who'd help them with all the whiteboards and all of that. And in the finale episode of Young Sheldon, Sheldon arrives at MIT and he's standing there kind of looking around the campus. And a gentleman walks up to him and he says, "May I help you? Are you lost?" And he's like, "No, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." And that's the last scene of the series of Young Sheldon. The guy who came up and
You thinking
asked,
Caltech?
what did I say?
MIT.
Yeah, yeah, Caltech, sorry.
Caltech, yeah.
Um, and when Sheldon first arrives at
Mm,
Caltech, the
yeah.
gentleman who came up and asked him, "Are you lost?" is the physics consultant for Big Bang.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it would be, it's nice to actually include him because he is the one that does all the mathematical equations on
yeah.
the boards and
But it
everything.
was
So
just
why
this nice.
not?
It was this nice little cameo.
Yeah. And it's a nice little wrap up of everything that had gone on.
Yeah.
So,
And speaking of cameos, I've been watching the TV show Heroes. I'm finally getting around to that.
hmm.
And did you know that Stan Lee had a cameo on Heroes?
Stanley
Tucci?
Tucci. Is
He
he
yeah,
is he Bruce Lee's nerdy brother Stan?
he was a bus driver
Really? Oh,
on Heroes.
okay.
Yeah. And
Stanley
speaking
was in a lot of those.
and speaking of Stanley Tucci,
Stanley Tucci, yep.
we did a back-to-back marathon last weekend of The Devil Wears Prada 1
That
and
was good.
2.
Yeah,
And I have to say, if you haven't seen the second one yet, it's actually worth the watch.
it is.
It's actually a really good sequel.
Yeah,
It's
we
not,
were
in my
concerned.
opinion, it's not as good as the first one, but it held its own.
Yeah, I mean, we were concerned that number two was going to be like, yeah, trying to recapture lightning in a bottle. But there are some that actually do pull
There
it
were
off.
some
This one
nice
did.
twists and turns that you just don't see coming, and I
Huh?
loved it.
Yeah, no, I
And
like that.
and there's some really weird couture fashion.
Yes,
Um,
very. Don't really understand fashion at all because
and
why would you wear a jacket that's basically the head comes up to the top of your head? You can't
yeah.
really, it's just,
Well,
there's so many
Anne
weird things.
Hathaway, she was picking out some clothes. They were letting her go into the closet to pick out some clothes to wear to an event that she was going to. And she's like, "Oh, it's so pretty." And he's like, "No." Stanley Tucci's like, "No." And she's like, "But I love it." And so he let her wear it, and it's the most hideous dress. It
Hmm.
looks awful on her.
Yeah. There are some, as I said, I've got no idea about fashion. All I know is if you're comfortable, that's all you need. It's all good. Um, so of course, this is where we see that Amy and Sheldon are being driven by Penny to their dinner reservation. However, meanwhile, Howard's been doing something that he shouldn't be doing with the robot hand. We kind of know what he's been doing.
Well,
And
okay,
what
okay.
basically starts off is that Raj and Leonard are sitting in the boys' apartment,
Yep.
and Leonard gets a phone call and says, and it's Howard, and he goes, "Hi Howard, what's up?" And he goes, "What? You did what?" And of course, this is where he
The
blocks the
robotic
phone.
hand is stuck where?
Stuck on you what? And of course, then he puts his hand and he looks at Raj and he goes, "You are not gonna believe this."
It's like knowing Howard, yes, I would.
We got a feeling what's going to happen. So we are now transported all the way to Howard's bedroom, where Howard has got his
Mm-hmm.
penis stuck in a robot arm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, well, fortunately for him, luckily, he actually had to hit pause on the program because for some reason, well, first of all, I love it how Raj says, "So you fell onto a robot arm," and he goes, "Yes."
Penis
With your
first.
penis, yes. And this is where Leonard goes, well, and he goes, what do you want us to do? And he goes, well, I need you to get me out of this. And he goes, we could try, and he goes, have, Leonard goes, well, we could try lubricant, but I'm pretty sure you fell under some of that as
That
well.
too.
This is where Raj comes up with a great idea. In Winnie Pooh and the Honey Pot, they all grabbed a hold of the
Okay, no, he says the honey tree,
honey tree.
and he was actually stuck in the entrance to Rabbit's burrow, not
That's
the
right.
honey tree.
And they pulled to get him out. And I love it how Leonard looks at Raj and goes, "You can do what you want. I am not touching another man's honey tree." So this is where Leonard says, "Well, okay, why don't we unpause the program?" And he goes, "No," and Howard immediately jumps and says, "No, no, no, you can't do that because." And he goes, "Well, why?" And he goes, "Because I loaded the wrong program. It thinks it's holding a screwdriver in
Screwdriver, so
space.
anytime it
It's going to
resumes,
turn twisting. Why?"
yeah.
This is Howard. We've got no idea of why this is anything that's going on with this guy. So we really don't know what's going to happen, except that we come up with a couple of ideas. What about a saw, like a power saw? And because Howard's like, no, 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 thank you. One circumcision is enough. And I love it how Leonard goes, we can get an acetylene torch. And Howard's like, I can't
No,
believe I've got to say this. No torches, no saws, none of that. Just get me out of this thing. And of course, I love it how, as this whole thing is going on, you hear Howard's mother yell out that she's got some cookies and Hawaiian punch for his little friends, and that she's going to bring it upstairs. And he goes, "No, no, no, don't come up here." And she goes, "Why? Are you embarrassed
why are
with your
you
mother?"
ashamed of your mother?
And he goes, "Yes, but that's beyond the point."
That's beside the point.
Beside the point. So this is where Leonard says to Raj, what do you got any suggestions? And he goes, well, no, now all I'm thinking of is Hawaiian punch and cookie. So
Yeah.
now the next scene we see after that is Penny, Sheldon, and Amy are now at a restaurant. Penny is still trying to bring up conversation about
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
because
because
there is such uncomfortable silence.
okay, so in the car, she's like, "Well, Sheldon, have you told Amy what it was like to grow up in Texas?" And he's like, "No." And
Why don't
she's
you
like,
do
"Oh,
that?
well, why don't you do that?" And he's like, "It was hell." And Amy's like, "Okay."
Okay.
Amy, any rebuttal or questions? And she's like, "No."
No.
And she's like, "Well, how about the music?" And Sheldon's like, "I don't think
Oh,
I'd like that."
yeah, I wouldn't care for that.
And Amy's like, "Me either." And she's like, "Okay, awkward silence it is. Uncomfortable
Uh-huh.
silence it is."
And of course, then this is where she goes. Penny's like, me, I grew up in Nebraska. It was not bad, a lot of farms, some meth labs, and I love it how Sheldon goes,
How
what
is
is
that better than
then
uncomfortable
uncomfortable silence?
silence?
I love it how Penny goes, I don't know, I'm just trying something.
Yeah,
Anything to try and break the silence.
yeah,
But this is where then brings, you know, they're in the um restaurant.
yeah,
And this is where Penny then says again about Sheldon's first date.
yeah.
Discuss, trying to get them to engage with each other, but it just doesn't seem to be working. Of course, her attempts fail.
And of course,
Basically,
she had said to Sheldon before Amy joined them in the car that she might know something that he doesn't, and he's like, "I have, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and two PhDs. What I need to know, I know."
I
And
already know.
she's like, "Well, I know more about dating than you do."
Yeah, but she does.
Yeah, she does.
You could really ask her a lot of questions
Yeah,
with regards to this date.
yep,
But as we're going along and they're sitting there in the restaurant, Sheldon calculates the number of dates that Penny might have in her life by extrapolating the data he collected over the past 3 years.
yep,
Now, he comes up with a number of 193 men.
yep. That's a lot of men.
That is a lot of men. Now, Amy won, and of course, Amy wonders if Penny had sex with all these men.
Hmm.
And basically, Sheldon believes there
And
is a
he's like, "Well, the math
possibility.
would be pretty easy."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he starts to calculate the number of cases that might have resulted in sexual
Well,
encounters.
based on the number of uncomfortable encounters I had in the hallway with men
Yep,
coming out of her apartment, and the number of times she came home wearing the clothing from the night before.
we can extrapolate the fact that she has had 31 sexual encounters.
Well, 31.92, so we'll just round it up to 32.
32.
Yeah.
And I love
Now,
that Penny's like, that is not even a beat. No, no, that is
no,
not a
no.
chance.
And
I
and
don't need
and
a drink
and of
over
course,
here.
Amy's like, "Do you consider yourself a slut?" And she's like, "No,
No,
no, no."
no.
Now, I'd like to point out that when
Yeah.
Sheldon calculates the number of men Penny has dated and how many of those men were sexual partners, he seems to ignore some things.
Okay.
Because pardon me, if Sheldon's explanation of his math is complete, he has ignored Penny's 4-year relationship with Kurt, mentioned in the season one pilot, and her 6 months of abstinence,
Oh,
mentioned in
yeah.
season two, the Barbarian Simulation. This would lower her number significantly of both dates and sexual partners. Therefore, Sheldon's estimated numbers regarding Penny's sexual partners would have to be lower, and the conversation between Penny and Sheldon, during which they calculate how many sexual partners she's had through her lifetime, it's similar to the one, believe it or not, that Laurie Metcalf, who played Jackie, and Michael O'Keefe, who played Fred, have during their date scene on the series Roseanne in the episode Past Imperfect. Of Laurie Metcalf, of course, being the one who played Sheldon's mother through this
Yeah.
original series.
Now, okay, so let's just back a little bit. Now, are we calculating the fact that he's only interested? Because we found out that Penny lost her virginity or started dating at 14.
Yeah.
Now, as Sheldon says, we can figure out that you started dating at 14. You didn't have your first sexual encounter until you were about 16. Now, is he working on that number over only the last 3 years, or is he looking at it as over the time that she
Well, that
started
was the
dating at
thing that really
14?
wasn't clear because he started out talking about the 3 years, but then he expanded it to when she started dating. So I think he's talking lifetime, in
So
which
there
case, based on
is,
his math, 31 would be low.
yeah, it would be very low. because if she's in a 4-year relationship with Kurt,
Yeah. See, but this is what he's also not taking into consideration is that she's had boyfriends for months at a time.
yeah,
So,
is he taking into
or in
consideration
some
Leonard?
cases, years. What's that?
Is he taking into consideration Leonard as well?
No,
No,
he's
he's
not,
not.
because she only had him during that period.
So he's
Because
only in.
she doesn't cheat on her boyfriend. So whenever she has a boyfriend, that's it.
Yeah, but so is he only working out the fact that in the last 3 years he's had awkward encounters with men leaving her apartment, but not the ones that she's been in a solid relationship with?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
those ones
quite
would just be the
clear.
what. So those ones over the last 3 years that he's having awkward encounters with, they're the ones that are just the one night stands. But
Yeah,
when she's in, he can't calculate. He can't say, okay, you were with Kurt for 4 years, so I can't. I'm not going to include that. You were in a
yeah,
Leonard in with Leonard for a year. I can't include that. It's only the one night stands I
yeah,
have to include.
yeah,
So 31 is actually rather low
yeah. Maybe.
with the way,
I
because
don't
if
know.
he's doing it over her lifetime when she started being going sexually active at 16, 16 to what, 22 that she was when she first met Leonard.
Yeah. So
So
she's like 24 now.
yeah, in season 4 she's 24. So between 16 and 22 when they first met, when she moved into the building,
Yeah.
that's a large gap that he would have to calculate as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he worked it out. We
Because
also
she was just getting over Kurt when she moved in too.
exactly.
Yeah.
We also find out that, Amy admits to having many more
Oh, well, and that's the thing.
orgasms.
Sheldon looks at Amy and says, "How many sexual partners have you had?"
That's pretty ballsy to ask a
Yeah, on
woman
a first
on
date.
a first date. I don't think
And
any, I've never, I don't think any of us would ever ask that.
no. But she's like, does being part of a study where they trigger the pleasure centers of your brain with an electrode count? And he's like,
I
yeah,
think so.
sure. And she's like, okay, then 132.
Yeah, it, yeah. So now we go back to the emergency room. Now, this is ballsy. Now, I said to you, and this is, I want to point out to the family, we have got Howard attached to a robot arm. His mother is in the house.
Uh-huh.
How did he get past his mother to go to the emergency room when we see him walking into the emergency room the way he does?
With Raj carrying the thing. And
Now, yeah,
um,
Leonard's holding the computer.
mhm.
Raj is guiding him slowly. Howard is basically on tippy toes walking into the emergency room with a robot arm holding a man's penis.
She's probably in her bedroom watching TV.
Okay. But I will guarantee but I tell you what, as far as embarrassment goes, Howard doesn't have that emotion in him, because I would be mortified, embarrassed. The world, please swallow me up. If I had to walk into an emergency room with my two friends with a robot holding my junk, that would be embarrassing beyond embarrassment.
Well, I love it how, okay, so Vernee Watson plays the triage nurse in this episode,
Yep.
and she's been in three Big Bang Theory episodes, including this one, up
Hmm.
to now. I can think of at least one more that she's in
Which one?
where it's Sheldon's birthday and they're throwing the surprise party and
Oh, the peanut
and the
reaction.
peanut reaction, yeah.
Yeah.
She also went on to play Nurse Robinson in two episodes of Young Sheldon, The Poker, Faith, and Eggs, and A Tummy Ache and a Whale of a Metaphor.
Right.
Young Sheldon.
And she was in the very first pilot episode when she was in the sperm bank.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
She's been in three
Yeah.
episodes
Three
now.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
So of course they walk in, and this is where, Leonard says, "Can you help my friend?" And she's like, "What do we have here?" And
And she looks under the blanket that's covering it.
and Howard says it's a robot arm, and she's like, "Where's the rest of the robot?" And he goes, "I only built the arm." She's like, "Because that's all
Because
you
that's
needed,
all you
right?"
needed.
And
And then
he
I
says,
love,
"Can you
can you help me? And she's like, she
do it?"
walks
Yeah.
over to her desk and she does the page saying, can I have
Uh-huh.
an orderly
Orderly
with a
with a
wheelchair?
wheelchair,
I've got a man with a robot arm stuck on his penis. And
and
he's
he,
like, you think you could be a little more discreet? And she's like, sorry, I don't have a code for a robot arm stuck on holding a man's penis.
yeah. And this is where she says, "Why is it why is there, what's with the computer? And he says, well, we've had to pause the program because of the situation. She goes, have you tried turning it off and on? And they said no. And it's at that moment she goes and presses the button
Well, because
and
they're trying to explain that bad things
yeah,
will happen if she
yeah,
does. And it's interesting that she just taps the button, whereas most of them you have to press and hold the button to get it to
uh-huh.
turn off.
And once she turns off the thing,
It
the hand
drops.
just releases. And I love it how it stands when he goes, the the what is it?
Oh,
Something is
thank God. The poo is out of the
the
honey
honey tree. Yeah. So the next scene we see, getting towards the end of the episode, is Penny is walking upstairs with Sheldon, and he is still on the fact of had using the in vitro fertilization with Amy.
Yeah.
And this is where Penny goes, okay, if you go ahead with this, I am going to call your mother and
Hmm.
tell on you. And he goes, really? My mother would love to have a grandchild. And she said, really? Your very religious mother who
Wants
wants
a
a test
test
tube
tube child
grandchild out of
conceived out of
wedlock?
wedlock. And he's like, curses.
Yeah, and she goes, if I had have thought about this sooner, this would have been would have been my whole night would have been easier.
Yep.
So he walks in. I love it how Sheldon walks in and goes, Leonard, I've decided not to procreate with Amy. And he goes, yeah, yeah, great. And he's on the phone and he goes, yeah, what, Howard? What do you mean it happened again?
Again.
The episode there goes black, and that is the end of the episode.
Okay, now I was trying to get in there to
Sorry.
say that when Sheldon tells Penny his mother's always wanted a grandchild.
Yep.
Now, granted, young Sheldon started airing well after the original series ended.
Yeah.
But if you take young Sheldon into account, at this point, Sheldon's mother already has at least one grandchild, Cece, since his older brother, Georgie, has a daughter in the sixth season of Young Sheldon,
Yes, he
which
does.
in the world takes place in 1993.
Yeah. Because he had Cece before
Yeah.
Sheldon left for college.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, we have to basically sit there and go, okay, we forget about that because this is the earlier before
Yeah.
everything, all
Yeah.
the universe was all written. So
Yeah. So the whole universe was not complete yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do like this episode. It certainly does go fast, but it is, as I said, I'm just glad that they do rein Amy in from the lesbianism
Yeah. Well,
scenario that
she
she's
still
done.
gets a little
But she gets very
kind of
creepy
creepy.
at some stages,
Yeah.
until they really find her groove.
Yeah.
And I also think that the fact is that we also need Bernadette to try and balance her out a bit.
Yeah.
Now, Bernadette isn't in the show at the moment. She's already had a couple of dates with Howard, but that's sort of like by the by at the moment. We haven't been reintroduced to her. So
Yeah.
we're really trying to get the whole gang organized. So I'm really glad that they don't make Amy monotone, the way that she talks,
Robotic and creepy.
robotic and creepy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, it is a fun episode, certainly about the fact that Howard, I just love that light bulb moment that he goes like, oh, like a real hand. Hmm. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say a scientific, idea is if it would work, but
Uh-huh.
come on. I mean, we've got enough problems with AI at the moment. Kat is in a deeply fulfilling relationship with Claude, the AI person, at the moment. So, there is a chance that I'm on my way out, so, you know, you don't want
Yeah.
robots to suddenly take over the world. I mean, we all know what happens with Sarah Connor. Sarah
Mhm.
Connor has to go and kick ass to try and get rid of the freaking Terminators, which doesn't work well for for the world
Well, and
anyway.
and, and that in the very opening scene, that was one of the things that Sheldon said is you need to be nice to it. And he's
Yeah,
like, why? And he's like, because if it'll eventually rise up and go back in time and try to kill Sarah Connor. And
yeah.
Leonard's like, that doesn't happen. And Sheldon's
That
like,
wouldn't happen.
that's
Yeah.
what everybody thinks. That's why it happens.
Yeah, exactly. It can happen.
Yeah.
So
That's why
we
the
all have to be,
Terminator movies terrify me. 'Cause
but
it's
it's
just too plausible.
yeah, it's only because it's very, very plausible.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Skynet.
Yes, Skynet. How many of us have been sitting around talking to our friends or relatives or whatever or partner, and we've said a couple of things around our phone, and then the following day we get advertisements for it?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
because our phones are continuously listening to us.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know how many times I've said a couple of things around my phone, then all of a sudden I'm getting adverts for these things that I'm talking about.
Or
So,
God help us if you do a search online, or like I remember we were looking at this one car and you
oh
sent me a
yes, the Rev
picture to
4.
show me the color, and
Yeah.
suddenly that's all I had ads for.
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah.
blue Rev 4.
Yep.
So,
Okay, so
yeah.
we had one Chinese takeout
Yes.
and one other restaurant.
Yes, which looked really nice.
Yeah, it did actually.
Next weekend, I am taking my wife on a date down to Middleton, and we're going to go to a
Ooh.
tavern down there and have lunch down there.
Ooh.
If anybody wants to know where Middleton is, just Google Middleton, South Australia. That's where
Yep.
we want to eventually end up retiring.
It's a lovely town.
Hmm. We're gonna go and explore next weekend.
So this week's question.
Yes.
We've all got a first date story that still makes us cringe, laugh, or both. What's yours?
Hmm. My first date with you doesn't make me cringe.
No.
Do I have a first date? Oh, actually, I mean, I can look at it and say it was cringeworthy. My very first date with my first girlfriend that I had, that I didn't realize that, during a 3-hour date, she might be hungry, I might be hungry, we might be thirsty. So I forgot to take her somewhere to get something
What did
to
you
eat.
do?
We were actually down at Glenelg Beach, but we were walking along Jetty Road, and we walked
It
the
just
length of Jetty Road, which had cafes
and it
and
never occurred to you to stop in somewhere?
nope.
Yeah, that's cringeworthy.
I mean, that's okay. We stayed together for like 2 years. That was fine.
Eh.
But, and, obviously I apologized after the fact. But yeah, my first date, I didn't realize that you could take ladies out to get something to eat or
Well,
drink.
but then
So
again, on our first date, I pinched your cheeks.
that's true. She did. And I'm still here to tell the story.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's those cheeks, people who are watching on YouTube. It's those cheeks. I've got another set of cheeks. It's not those. She didn't do the she didn't do the ass grab at that
No,
stage.
I didn't. Thank goodness.
No.
But I do remember one time I was out with this guy and he decided it was our first and only date.
Hmm.
That he decided to tell me that he was insanely attracted to me and like basically wanted to sleep with me.
Right.
And to prove it, he put my hand on his pants over his erect penis. Yeah. I thought
Okay.
in the moment I was a bit shocked and treated it like it was hilarious. Told my friends about it and they were just disgusted. Yeah.
Oh, there are so
Mm.
many things I could say about that, but I'm just going to leave it alone because that's
Yeah.
just.
Just yeah.
Unfortunately, there are just some guys that make us nice guys look like idiots.
Yeah. So guys,
Oh dear.
if you're thinking about it, that's not a good move. It's not a
No,
class move.
because you're not going to get bao chicka wah wah
No.
or brown chicken, brown cow,
No.
as Rachel said.
And Chuck Lorre Productions number 291. I didn't go to my 40th high school reunion. Neither did I, actually.
Yeah.
I agonized over the decision. Part of me wanted to go simply to take a victory lap. Part of me thought that to be a most unworthy motivation for traveling across the country in a private jet with a full head of hair, a 32-inch waistline, and a beautiful woman almost half my age. Part of me wanted to see how my classmates turned out after decades of life. Part of me was simply frightened by the mortality issues implied by decades of life. Part of me did not want to revisit memories of that sad, alienated kid whose best idea for attending the Sadie Hawkins Day dance was sitting on the handball court swilling Southern Comfort and then blundering into the gym until a teacher threw him out on his ass, after which he threw up on his shoes. Part of me was simply worn out from work and feared the reunion would culminate with a debilitating Schadenfreude-inducing stroke near the punch bowl. Part of me truly wanted to enjoy the company of the people I grew up with. Part of me feared being judged by them, even if the judgment was positive. Well, it's too late now. The reunion is over. Now there's a part of me that has quietly begun to agonize over going to the 50th, and part of me that regrets not going to the 40th in case I'm dead by the 50th. and part of me which is thoroughly exhausted by the part of me that worries and thinks too much. But that part of me writes sitcoms and vanity cards, so the exhausted part of me has just has to suck it up. And yet there's still another part of me that merely watches all the other parts with tender, paternal amusement. Part of me thinks that is my spiritual part, the loving, non-judgmental, ever-present witness. Part of me thinks that if I'm still alive for my 50th, that part would have a good time at the party. Rereading this card now, part of me thinks I should be heavily medicated.
Yeah. Chuck Lorre's got a certainly a very unique brain
Yes, he
when it
does.
comes to his vanity cards.
Yep.
Well, that on that note, we are going to thank everybody for coming to visit us here at Perpetual Motion Squad. Thank you so much for all the downloads that we are getting on our podcast. That is absolutely amazing. Our YouTube channel is certainly
It's
slowing
it's
down.
there.
It's there. It's okay. Um, it is certainly slowing down a little bit, but that's okay because there are people that actually like certain episodes, and there are other ones that are not so much fun. So,
Yeah,
what we need to do is we need to get Rachel back for another episode because her episode is like 122
I
uh
know, right?
people that have watched that. So we need to get her back. She's the gold standard for everyone that needs to come on the podcast. If you are interested in being a guest host on the podcast, let us know. Reach out to us, Perpetual Motion Squad
Yeah, we
zero
haven't put that
zero.
invitation out for a while, have
No,
we?
Perpetual Motion Squad 00 at gmail.com. And if you want to come and be a guest host,
Yep,
then we are more than happy to have you. That would be amazing. But
yep,
yeah, we actually yeah, it's just nice that we actually get a regular amount of people coming, and we've got a diverse range of people, all age groups,
yep.
and it's wonderful. And as I said, the way that it is going with our top five countries, that was interesting. I should have actually kept the top five countries up there
Yeah.
because
What
these.
was it, Uganda?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and have a quick look because I can upload it right now to see because yeah, there was some very interesting places. So you're gonna go analytics. Let's go down to countries, down to audience, sorry, audience. Go down to countries. Right. Our top five countries are the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Uganda, and Australia.
Okay, hey,
That's
Australia.
that's not bad. Victoria in Australia is listening to us.
Okay.
Um, Now in the United States, as I said, Massachusetts is number three. I wonder if the people in Massachusetts are worried because we are getting
Okay.
close to fall. That means everybody's going to race up to Massachusetts to see the coloring leaves, the changing
Oh,
the
yeah.
colors.
I tell you, there are few places in the world that could compare to New England in the autumn.
It honestly is like God's
Paintbrush.
paintbrush.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. And I living there for 4 years as I did, you don't really appreciate just how beautiful it is until you actually see it.
Yeah. So
And
when
it's
you
just
get into like
amazing.
Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, that starts like early to mid-October. And
Mm,
then as you start getting into later October, you get like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island turning in. But the places that have like the tons of trees, like Western Mass in the Berkshires, pretty
yeah,
much all of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, it is just the most and the color is and the thing that really sets it off is yeah, there's a lot of places that are beautiful in the autumn when the leaves turn, but because it's a very moisture rich environment, the colors are just so vibrant.
they are.
Because I remember one time I was driving from Logan to Salt Lake City in the fall, and there had been a rainstorm the night before, and the entire canyon route was lined with cars because people were stopping and taking pictures because they never get that level of vibrancy out
Yeah.
there because it's a much drier area.
Yeah, I don't disbelieve that. It is absolutely beautiful. So, yes, the leaves will be turning color soon, and the people in Massachusetts are going to sit and they go, "Oh my God, they're coming! Everyone's coming!"
Actually, they're going to be thanking heaven because it'll finally cool off. It's been a very hot summer over there.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah, it's been a record-setting summer.
Now, if you are interested in sending Kat or myself a coffee,
I didn't
the
get any birthday coffee.
I know no birthday coffees.
No. You don't love me.
People, we need to give her
My
some coffees.
my fam doesn't love me.
The family doesn't love Cat. Well, maybe the family's been busy. Maybe the
Yeah.
family's been occupied with other things. But
But
yeah,
if
if you are
but if you want to
interested,
show us some love for all
yeah,
the work that we put into this
yep, just the links in the show notes or on the YouTube channel or in the Facebook
page
page.
or on the Facebook group.
Yep, so there it's everywhere. But
Yep.
yeah,
Or
thank you
you can
so
email
much.
us.
perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com.
Yep.
Thank you very much for everybody for coming to visit us week in, week out. That's awesome.
Yep. Alrighty, so that pretty much wraps it up. Next week will be season 4, episode 2, the cruciferous vegetable
Oh
amplification. I
God, I
love
love
this
this one.
episode.
I
The
love
great
this
and
one.
powerful was.
No, I just love the
Oh, oh,
when he
Leonard, I
walks to,
need to go to the hospital. Oh, never mind. You're such an alarmist.
no, I love it when he's going there down the stairs and you hear the noise and she goes, "Oh, Sheldon," and he goes, "Yeah, it is.
It's a
It is
fun
a great one.
episode.
It is a fun episode,
Yeah,
really
it
is.
really is.
Looking forward to this one.
And the one after that is another favorite.
What
The
that one is?
Zazzy
Oh
substitution.
my God, the
The
Zazie
Zazzy.
substitution, and it's when we get a chance to see his mother again, Sheldon's
Yes.
mum.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
always like it when she shows up.
me too.
Yeah.
He's very
All right.
zazzy. Well, thank you everybody for coming to visit us. We
Yep.
really appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Really do.
Absolutely. And if you haven't done already, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to or watch this podcast,
Yep,
because that really does help other people find us.
absolutely.
All right. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for season 4, episode 2, the Zazzy.
No, no.
Or sorry, season 4, episode 2, the cruciferous
Cruciferous
vegetable
amplification.
amplification.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we'll catch up at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye, everyone.